Hello everybody, my name is Thornton Kennedy. I'm a columnist with the Northside Neighbor newspaper. I usually write about Buckhead history. With this series of videos, I want to complement the work I'm doing in the Northside Neighbor, reformat it, and put it in front of a different audience. One of the most important figures in the history of Buckhead, indeed in the history of Georgia, is a gentleman by the name of William McIntosh. Now, despite that Scottish-sounding name, McIntosh was a member of the Creek Nation. He had a Scotch-American father, but his mother was a Creek, and a prominent Creek at that. The Creeks had been in Georgia and Alabama for thousands of years before the first European explorers ever stepped foot on North America. After the Revolutionary War, the United States government had been chipping away at the Creek territory at every opportunity, and generally the Creek were open to these secessions. But by 1820, the Creek said enough is enough. We are ceding no more territory to the United States of America. Enter our friend William McIntosh. William McIntosh had accumulated a great deal of wealth as one of the leaders of the Creek. He had a plantation on the banks of the Chattahoochee River. He owned slaves. He had an inn and tavern in Indian Springs. In 1821, without the approval of the Creek leadership, he signed the Treaty of Indian Springs. This gave to the United States 4 million acres for $400,000. William McIntosh personally received $40,000 in the negotiations. When the Creek learned of the negotiations of the treaty, they were incensed, and they prohibited any future sale of lands to the federal government under any circumstances. If someone did sell land to the federal government, that offense is punishable by death. In 1825, William McIntosh signed the Second Treaty of Indian Springs under tremendous pressure from Georgia Governor George Troup. The Second Treaty of Indian Springs gave the remaining territory east of the Mississippi River to the federal government for $200,000. For his trouble in negotiating the treaty, William McIntosh received another $200,000. For this offense, the Creek Nation sentenced William McIntosh to death. Governor Troup had assured McIntosh that his life would be saved by the federal government. But in April of 1825, 150 warriors from the Creek Nation showed up at McIntosh's plantation. He attempted to fight them off, but they set his house on fire, and eventually he stumbled out onto the front porch, where he was met with a hail of gunfire. The Creek refused to acknowledge the Second Treaty of Indian Springs. The United States Senate ratified it. Through a series of negotiations, the terms were agreed to, and the Creek abandoned the state of Georgia. William McIntosh is a name that we should all know, along with other great Creek leaders like Big Warrior and Little Prince. I hope you've enjoyed my video. I'm going to continue to do them. If you'd like, comment below. I'll post my column here as well. And thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.